Matt Morris of the St. Louis Cardinals has dominated San Diego in his career, a 4-0 mark, and this just might be the team to get him back on track. San Diego, California, another beautiful night on the West Coast as the Cardinals continue this road trip to start the second half. We're just about set to go, the Cards and Padres in Game 2 of this three-game set. With Al Hrabowski, my name is Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball here on WB11. Last night, Al, 4-3 was the final. Certainly a disappointing and a tough loss for Tony La Russa. But Matt Morris just might be the guy to turn this thing around.
Well, Tony's really hoping. Tony really wants to see something from Matt. They discussed things before the game yesterday during batting practice, and Tony is very anxious to see if Matt can put the death of Darryl Kyle aside and start pitching like the ace we know he is.
Now, somebody who has been a positive for the Cardinals in this lineup is Placido Polanco. Off to a slow start. I think we forget that he had the hurt hand for a while, but he's battled through that, and boy, he has been the hottest man in this lineup.
Well, absolutely. He had a 3-for-4 night last night. That was after the last game before the All-Star break where he was 5-for-5. So 8 for 9 with Polanco, and he's really got up his average up to 294. We're used to seeing him above the 300 mark.
Now, last night, this shows you what we know. We reported that J.D. Drew might not play until the homestand. Folks, he has been taken off the disabled list. We could see him pinch hit here tonight.
Well, Brad Henge is right now trying to get confirmation whether he's been added to the roster, but yeah, he had a meeting with Tony La Russa. I'm not sure Drew agrees with Tony, but Tony wants him available on that bench.
Well, Matt Morris will look for victory number 11 here tonight. Cardinals baseball on Saturday night. WB11 comes your way next. Cardinals baseball on WB11 is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste and won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on WB11. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. We welcome you back to San Diego, California. And the cue, Qualcomm Stadium. There's manager Tony La Russa. The Cardinals lost last night 4-3. This is a look at the standings now. The Cardinals, with what has happened today, Houston 4.5 games out. And we've got Cincinnati now 3. So Houston won today. And don't look now, Houston's right on the Cardinals' tails, Al.
Well, I think that's no surprise to anyone. Tony is very thankful that they played so poorly for so long. But the Cardinals need to right their own ship. And no better time than to start right here tonight.
Joe Bettini is handing the Cardinals lineup to the umpires on the scene. Wally Bell will be behind the plate. C.B. Bucknor is the first base umpire. Mark Carlson is our second base umpire. And John Hirschbeck moves from behind the plate to third. This is Inside the Numbers, presented by Bank of America. The Cardinals best on the road since '99. Qualcomm Stadium, they're 11-2. And yesterday was just the 4th time they had lost in the last 3 years against San Diego. You talk about dominance. We have seen it between these two teams, with the Cardinals being on the positive end of that.
The Cardinals had a 8-game winning streak against the Padres. Of course, Matt Morris has been unbelievable against the San Diego Padres in his career.
Here's our 4-key matchup. This is what you're talking about, Al. An ERA of 1.24. He has not faced San Diego this year. In his career, he is 4-0. So Matt Morris will get the start here tonight. This is a very important start for Tony La Russa to see how Matt Morris responds here in the second half.
Yeah, they're very concerned about him. You know, we know Darryl Kyle was a mentor, but it's time for you to put that aside, use it as a motivation, do what Darryl Kyle taught you, and that is how to pitch and pitch well and pitch and win. And Dave Duncan will tell you that, yeah, his velocity's back up. There was a period of time where it was down. He has not pitched inside for about a month, and more importantly, his concentration has been wavering. So we hope that all changes tonight.
Last 2 starts have not been pretty for Matt Morris. 11 innings pitched and 11 earned runs. So that is something that he has to watch here tonight. He's been plated with big leads and has not been able to hold them. Let's take a look at the Cardinals lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Vina, then Polanco, the hottest man in this lineup, 5 for 12 against the Padres this year. Edmonds, Pujols, Tina Martinez, Renteria, Robinson, back in there again, Mike Matheny, and of course the pitcher is Matt Morris. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Klesko and Vasquez on the right side of the infield. Klesko, a big hit last night, the game-winning RBI. There's a leadoff man and second baseman, Ramon Vasquez. Third baseman back in there for the second night, Phil Nevin. Davy Cruz is at short. Former Cardinal. In left is Ron Gant. Mark Kotsay has just signed a brand new deal here today on Mark Kotsay Jersey Day here in San Diego. We'll tell you about that in a moment. He's in center, and Bubba Trammell had that big hit last night. Bases clearing double. He's in right. Former Cardinal Tom Lampkin is behind the plate. There's our Chrysler Jeep starter. Former Mariner, former Red, and now San Diego Padre, Brett Tomko, who is a San Diego native.
Well, Tomko is probably their second most consistent starter, and I think one of the things that you look for is if he gets by the first couple innings, he usually pitches pretty well. The Padres have dropped 10 of Tomko's last 12 starts, may have the best velocity of their starting rotation.
So Tomko has struggled. He'll get the start tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Look at the Cardinals lineup with a few changes in it. We talked about Polanco, who has of course been very hot. So Vina, Polanco, Edmonds, then Pujols, a cleanup man, Tina Martinez, Renteria, Eli Moreira's in right behind the plate. As you might expect, Mike DeFelice when Matt Morris is on the mound. Then Morris will hit ninth for St. Louis. Vina, an 0 for night last night, hitting .276 on the year. Vina, Polanco, and Edmonds here in the first four of the Cardinals in game 2 of this 3-game set. And we hope you enjoyed here on the Cardinals Television Network and WB11. Vina was hit by a pitch for his team high 10th time last night. And we're underway here on the West Coast. 7:09 with our first pitch as Vina takes a ball on the outside half of the plate. Vina in his last 7 seasons has recorded 5 double-digit hit by pitch campaigns. It's been hit 60 times, Al, in the 2.5 years with the Cardinals. That's an awful lot.
Well, it's part of his game, getting on base. Remember the one year he had 28 times he was hit by pitches. So he'll do whatever it takes to get on, but he's in an over 10 slot.
1-2.
You ever remember him going 0 for 10?
Remember a little spot earlier this year. He went 0 for 10, then rattled off about a 15 for 25 streak.
Okay, so that's what we're looking for tonight.
Here's a 1-2 pitch from Tomko. That's in the dirt.
Let's hope he gets 15 at bats tonight.
That'd be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice?
That would be.
Used to seeing him hit about 300 plus. Leads the ball club with a 12 stolen bases.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Vina. Breaks his bat left side. Phil Nevin to his left, and Vina is 0 for his last 11. 1 out. That's how we start the game, and in steps Polanco.
Well, Phil Nevin returned from the disabled list right off the end of the bat, so he's left with the handle. And Tomko off to a good start. That win last night can mean a lot to these Padres as they're starting to get, or trying to get healthy. But they're actually 2 games over 500 at home. So Bruce Bochy's team's had an awful lot of injuries to deal with, and a 13-32 road mark.
Here's Polanco, who's 8 for his last 9. 5 for 5 Sunday, and 3 for 4 to start the second half last night. Also the first run of the game in the first inning last night. He's lifted his batting average 20 points from 274 to 294 in the last 2 games.
And if you take it back, he's hit in 24 of the last 27 games at a 364 average and raised his BA from 249 to his current 294.
Last 10 games, a 409 clip for Placido. And I mentioned this briefly during the open out with Polanco. We forgot for a while and really didn't mention it. The hand injury on the palm of his hand that he was suffering through, and that was causing him not to really be able to come through the ball. And he's a guy that definitely goes up the middle into the opposite field, but still. anytime that you've got a problem like that, it's going to be tough to hit as he grounds out to short.
Hands are very important to a hitter. And as you said, especially with a guy that doesn't have a lot of pop, so he's kind of using his hands even more to guide the ball.
Here's Jim Edmonds, 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI last night, hitting .318 on the year. 17 home runs and 45 RBIs. Bud Smith will make his 9th start of the season tomorrow. He'll try to get his first win in the series finale. Of course, Bud pitched his no-hitter here at Qualcomm Stadium last year. First pitch to Jimmy is fouled back.
A lot of question marks with the ball club, and hopefully bringing J.D. Drew back to the active roster will start solving some of the offensive ones. I think this ball club is looking for a shot in the arm with a trade.
Edmonds pops it up behind home plate. And 2 of the busiest guys, as we get a good look at Matt Morris getting set for hopefully victory number 11 here tonight. 2 of the busiest guys in baseball are sitting next to each other, a few boosts down from us, and that's Kevin Towers, the GM here in San Diego, and Walt Jocketty, the GM with the Cardinals. Those 2 have been busy with all the injuries and trying to make trades. And Towers was able to pull off a minor deal last night. And he also released the former Cardinal, Mark Sweeney. A 1-2-3 inning for Tomko. Morris will try to get win number 11 here tonight. Bruce Bochy was the manager of the year in 1996 and again in 98. Let's take a look at his lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. For the Padres here tonight, Vasquez will lead it off, their second baseman, followed by Kotze, Klesko, Nevin, Ron Gant, and Bubba Trammell. The big double last night, Cruz, Lampkin, and Tomko. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Here's the Cardinals defense this evening. Tino Martinez is at first. Fernando Vina on the right side of the infield at second. Polanco another start at third. Edgar Renteria is the shortstop tonight. To the outfield we go. Albert Pujols is in left. Edmonds in center after the strikeout here in the top half of this inning. Eli Marrero back in there. He's in right. Mike DeFelice is behind the plate. And here's Matt Morris. He's on the mound for St. Louis. His first start of the second half. Comes in with a mark of 10-6. He's our Chrysler Jeep starter, Al.
Well, he's lost 2 in a row. He's never lost 3 in a row in his career. And this is a good team for him to face. 4-0 lifetime against the Padres. And here at Qualcomm Stadium, he's 2-0 with a microscopic 0.57 ERA. 1 earned run in 15 2/3 innings.
2 balls and a strike on Vasquez. Hard to believe he has never lost 3 straight games as a starter, and tonight it's his 104th career start. He's 51-28.
He also has a 2.23 ERA in night games.
Vasquez goes the opposite way. There's Albert Pujols for the first out.
Well, Dan, there wasn't one pitch inside there, but we'll keep an eye on that because that's something that Matt has got away from. One of the best in the club a year ago when he was a 22-game winner of pitching inside, keeping hitters honest.
His first start after the death of Darryl Kyle was against Milwaukee, and that was a loss, but he pitched very well in that game at Busch Stadium. 7 innings and 6 hits. But his last 2 starts have not been anything like the Matt Morris that we're used to. A 12-8 loss against Cincinnati. It took a no decision, but led that game at one point 6-0. And then against Los Angeles, a 6-5 loss, which the Cardinals played at him with a 4-run lead.
Concentration has been slipping away at times.
Little tapper to Renteria. 2 outs and a good start here for Morris.
Well, Matt Morris that time, who was facing Kotze, who they just announced signed a new 3-year contract for the Padres. Starting him out with a fastball away and gets a strike 1. Then a breaking ball, 1-1, but you see everything's away. Fastball gets the ground ball to short.
Here's Ryan Klesko, the hero from last night. Game-winning RBI as he took a pitch from Steve Klein and lined it into left. A good piece of hitting.
No, he's really improved. He's batting .337 when he's facing left-handers now. Remember when he was earlier in his career with Atlanta Braves, they wouldn't let him face left-handers, and he only has one more home run against a right-handed pitcher than left-handers. Everything's away. I'm not saying that you have to see. There's the numbers and the home runs.
Good breaking ball there. Sharp dip, 12-6.
He's got that good curveball, but Matt just has to get back to pitching his game. And there's the good curveball. We all know he has one.
And there's no doubt if this team is going to go anywhere, it rests on number 35 in many ways. Right back to Morris, and a good start for him. A 1-2-3. Bottom of the first, we played an inning here at Qualcomm Stadium. Coming up for St. Louis, Pujols, Martinez, and Renteria. Hey kids, Saturday, August 10th, the Cardinals play the Mets. It's Ice Mountain Team Poster Night at the ballpark. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a 2002 Cardinals team poster. Compliments of Ice Mountain Spring Water, the official bottled water of the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, that'll be Saturday, August 10th. Youngsters 15 and under, we hope to see at the ballpark. Here's Albert Pujols. In 10 career games against San Diego, he has 6 home runs. Last night, though, he was 0 for 2, but did pick up an RBI. A team high 67 on the year. And he hits a shot to Nevin, who stays down on it. He's playing deep near the line. Long throw over to Klesko, and there's one away. 4 up and 4 down for Tomko.
Cardinals always have a bunch of fans that travel with them, including Alan Epstein and Dr. Rick Goldberg. They purchased a trip to California with the Cardinals from the men's cancer dinner, and these guys are having the time of their life, but they had time enough to say hello to Vanessa, Hannah, and Lauren Epstein. And also Dr. Rick wants to say hello to Jonathan Goldberg.
Here's Tino Martinez. He left 4 on last night and hit into what kind of was overshadowed in the game last night with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Hit into an inning-ending double play. And that was kind of overshadowed after the big inning by Bubba Trammell and the game-winning hit by Klesko.
Yeah, a couple sacrifice fly here or there could have really changed the outcome, but
pounds that, and that's a fair ball fielded by Klesko, and Tino is saying that was a foul ball as he's looking up the line. There's 2 outs.
C.B. Buckner is, and I think now Tony's going to talk to C.B. Buckner, but I think what the C.B.'s got his hands out saying, well, what about Wally Bell? It's his call. I wonder if they're saying that he gave a sign that indicated to Tino Martinez that it was foul ball, that why he wasn't really running down the line. And did some kind of hand gesture where he made Tino think it was a foul ball.
I think you're right. And reading his lips a little bit, looks like that's how
because you see where Tino is here, and watch as he feels the ball. Well, there he's saying it's fair.
Fair ball, yep.
But I think it did look like it could have been foul.
All for naught. Here's Renteria with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the second. One pitch hit into short. Cruz, long throw, and he got it. Nice play by Davy Cruz. 6 up and 6 down for Brett Tomko. Bill Nevin will lead things off when we come back. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste and won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Tomorrow will come your way on WB11 and the Cardinals television network. Back home at 4 o'clock here from San Diego. Then Wednesday, Fox Sports Net, 6:30 with the pregame. And let's check that. It's now a 5:30 start. 5:30 start for us back home against San Francisco. And Tino Martinez is still having a word with our first base umpire, C.B. Buckner.
I don't know if he's been ejected. The way Tony's coming out, the way Tino's walking off, I think he's been ejected from this ball game. John Hirschbeck is the crew chief who Tony's talking to now. last night's umpire and third base umpire.
I think he just said he threw me out.
Yeah. Tony, I don't think he's in the best of moods to begin with.
He's going to make sure he expresses his thoughts here. He's going to get his money's worth. So Tino Martinez has been ejected from this game.
Do you think anybody in the stands knew what's going on in this conversation except for Tino and C.B. Buckner? I think it is something to do with umpires have a responsibility to keep players in a game. Mark and Connie Smith are here. I want to say hi to all family and friends back in St. Louis and St. Genevieve. And their favorite player is Tino Martinez, who just got ejected by CB.
So now who will go and play first for Tony La Russa?
Perez.
Now Bena's having a word with our second base umpire, and everybody's just kind of standing around, and through all this, Morris is just standing out there.
Mark Carlson is the umpire, and here comes Perez.
Yep. So Perez will take over for Tino Martinez at first, and we're in the bottom of the second. And there's no score between the Cards and the San Diego Padres. Eduardo will throw one over to Placido Polanco. They'll play catch very briefly, and then we'll get things going. Due up for San Diego, Phil Nevin, the cleanup man, then Ron Gant and Bubba Trammell. Morris will get a few extra tosses in as well, as this is taking some time after the ejection of Tino Martinez.
You know,
he grounded out to first.
I didn't really see anything. I wasn't following Tino, but based on what we know of him, we find it hard for him to believe to be in an animated discussion.
A few magic words and you're out of here.
Well, but I don't know if I even consider Tino to be one of those candidates that would say something like that without, you know, without getting our attention first.
Wailing his arms.
Yeah, I mean, he was ejected before any of us knew about it.
Yep. Here's right after he was ejected.
He doesn't look like he's really upset, does he?
That was odd. Either way, he's out of this game, and here's Phil Nevin, 2 balls and no strikes. Quickly 3-0. Nevin back after missing a bunch of games. This is only his 41st game on the year. He broke his arm. 4 straight and a leadoff walk to the cleanup man. 3 of those 4 pitches, Al, on the outside half of the plate.
I mean, everything's out there, and this is something that I asked Dave Duncan about, and he said, I've been telling him for a month. He's gotten away from being aggressive on the inside part of the plate. And when the hitter only has to cover one part of the plate, it makes him that much more dangerous.
You know, prior to the death of Darryl Kyle in the month of June, Morris was very, very good. This is off the bat of Ron Gant. Long way to go for Eli, and he won't make the play. That's into the seats. During that month, he had an ERA of 2.19, but he had that terrible start against Cincinnati, and it jumped up to 3. And he's just not been the same pitcher.
His whole mannerisms on the mound, not as aggressive, doesn't look like he's having the fun that we always appreciated.
That could be 2. Renteria to Vina. There's a double play. 6-4-3, and there's 2 outs. That'll bring in Bubba Trammell after the double play off the bat of Ron Gant.
Tailor-made right there, Sunday Hop, and on over to Vina, who no one better at turning to. The runner's not even a factor.
Strength to Bubba Trammell. Hit a ball last night about as hard and as far as you can in this ballpark without getting out. This ball that he hit did not travel all that well, considering how hard he hit it, and he hit it off the top of the wall in right center.
Well, this is much bigger. I talked to Tony about the fact that can a ball get over the head of Jim Edmonds and stay in the ballpark? And he kind of said, well, I doubt it. And then he said, you know, Jim plays shallow, but this is more area to cover than it is in Busch Stadium. It was a very bad pitch. There's some good pitches.
DeFelice blocked it. Trammell strikes out. And it's the first strikeout of the night for Matt Morris. We have played 2 here at the Q. And there's no score between San Diego and St. Louis. Eli Marrero will lead things off. Top of the 3rd. No score here in San Diego. Brett Tomko has looked sharp early on. The first pitch to Eli is a ball outside. If you're just joining us, Tino Martinez has been ejected by our first base umpire. And some other news to pass along. J.D. Drew has been taken off the disabled list. Woody Williams has been put on. Retro to July 7th. That's popped up a mile high for the 3rd baseman, Phil Nevin, for out number 1. Dollar More is the largest energy assistance program in the area, helping the needy pay their energy bills. To sign up for the Dollar More program, customers must check the box on their monthly bills, fill out a pledge card, or sign up on the Ameren website at ameren.com. Here's Mike DeFelice. For the most part, he has been the personal catcher for Matt Morris this year. I was thinking, I asked you when Tino was ejected, Al, if who was going to play first, and first and foremost what comes to mind is Eduardo Perez, but with Drew being activated with that sore knee, you might think that he could come in and maybe play a little first base.
Yeah, take a little pressure off him. He's very capable there and keep him from being quite as mobile. But I would have to think that knowing JD, and he felt like he needed a little more time, that it'd be a discussion that Tony would have to have with him rather than hitting him coldly with it.
DeFelice in a deep left field. That ball is hooking, and it is foul. Boy, he crushed that.
Sounded good right here. Ball normally does not travel well in the evening on the California coast. Cool nights, they kind of cuts the ball down. It'll travel much better during the day. And they've changed the configurations of the home run line at this ballpark over the years, several different times.
To accommodate trying to bring a Super Bowl here to San Diego. And the Super Bowl will be here this year. There's a strikeout, number 2 for Tomko.
It'll be the last time they will get the Super Bowl, because NFL says not enough luxury suites. So it's they want a new stadium.
Now that sounds a little familiar.
They're going to open up 2004 in the new downtown baseball only stadium.
Here's Matt Morris, and he pulls it foul. There's Steve Klein messing with our cameraman there, that Cardinal dugout.
That's my buddy, that cameraman. So you start getting on Greg, I'm going to help him out. Watch it, Kleino.
2 balls and a strike. It's the last guy that you want messing with you right there.
Oh, what? Greg or Klein?
Both.
All he has to do is just put his hat in front of Greg.
He's telling him, just leave me alone. Get out of here, do your job, I'll do mine.
And I'll make it fair. Greg gets on top of Steve, I'll help Greg. If Greg is taking the worst of a beating from Klein, I'll help Klein. Tag team.
I heard Steve Klein told Greg a little something about you, Al.
I'm not on the disabled list. I still got fight.
With a sore back and all, you'll still get after it.
Yeah.
Full count on Morris. Good little battle here. And it's popped up into foul ground. The first baseman, Klesko, is there. Steve Klein has got to keep himself busy at all times during a baseball game. So what does he do? He messes with our crew. We're on WB11. We don't need a pregame show when you've got For Your Love, which will come your way right before Cardinals baseball. For Your Love tomorrow at 3 here on the WB. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, glad you're with us here in San Diego. Matt Morris has looked effective so far. No hits. Brett Tomko has been very good. He's paced the minimum. And we've got no score. Debbie Cruz, Tom Lampkin, and Brett Tomko for the Padres here in their half of the third. Cruz this year hitting .257. Everyday shortstop for San Diego. He's over 3 last night. The pace of watching Matt Morris just isn't like it was 3 weeks ago. He was laboring in those starts, and the heat had something to do with it, obviously, in St. Louis. But here's a guy that gets the ball, gets on the rubber, and boom, it's coming right at you. But that has not been the case the last few starts for Matt.
And I'm sure he'll slowly work back there. You know, if you think about the Milwaukee game, he pitched very well. He was
7 innings that game.
Yeah, but it was kind of indicative of what we're talking about, losing concentration. 4 no-hit innings, and then he gave up 6 innings or 6 hits in the 7 innings, but 4 consecutive hits for them to score the 2 runs that beat him 2-0, and then after that he shut them down again.
On 1-2, it's a ground ball to Vina on the outfield grass, and Cruz is retired for on number 1. That'll bring in Tom Lampkin. Lampkin spent a couple of years in St. Louis. 2 Cardinals on this Padres team with Lampkin, Ray Langford, Ron Gant.
Sweeney, who was just let go this afternoon to bring up Buchanan, or to who they traded for yesterday.
Tom Lampkin came over from Seattle. He was part of the deal that brought the pitcher tonight, Brett Tomko, and also Ramon Vasquez. Padres gave up Ben Davis, the central figure in that trade. And now Ben Davis is not playing every day behind the plate for Seattle.
Yeah, there was a kid that a lot of people said was going to be the next Padres catcher for the next 15 years, and they gave up on him quickly.
Lampkin was in St. Louis in '97 and 1998. He and Mark McGwire were pretty close during that '98-70 home run year. Tailing fastball and just missed inside. 2-2.
Matt now is starting to locate a few pitches inside, and it makes a big difference.
Breaking ball and a strikeout of Lampkin. Number 2 on the night for Matty Moe.
And look at that swing, and you kind of sit there and see where a lot of these guys forget about swinging with 2 strikes. Nothing gets cheated except their batting average. It goes down.
First pitch to Tomko, a ground ball to Polanco, and a 1-2-3 third for Matt Morris. We have played 3. Top of the order coming up for St. Louis, and a good start thus far for Matty Moe. This portion of Cardinal baseball from San Diego is brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers, by your St. Louis area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today, and by Bank of America. We find financial solutions that fit you. Beautiful night yet again here in San Diego, California, as we welcome you back to Qualcomm Stadium and Cardinals baseball on WB11. How much money have they spent to bring that helicopter in here on those WB11 games to get those aerials? That's outstanding.
You may not realize this, but if you're out into the San Diego Bay and you look at the downtown skyline, it looks like tools. Like there is a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. Other buildings will look like a Phillips head. something you may want to know. And we also had another carrier come back into port. Good to see the guys coming back.
Vina corks this one into right field. Here's Bubba Trammell. I never knew that those buildings looked like screwdrivers.
That is what they say. They look like different, tools out of a tool chest. If you're out at sea but you were out there today.
I was.
In the bay, and you looked to the downtown area.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And where did you learn that?
From my daughter.
Who was on the trip, right?
No, I mean Lisa, who lives here.
Oh, okay. She's got to love it out here. This is fantastic.
She came to go to school out here and stay.
And I don't blame her. People here in San Diego these last 2 days have been complaining because they say it's hot. They don't know anything about heat. Last 2 weeks in St. Louis on the homestand. Now that's hot. Here's Polanco with a ball and a strike. Vina, by the way, is 0 for 2. Scoreless game here between the Cards and the Padres. Bobby Jones will get a start for San Diego tomorrow against Bud Smith. San Diego has won 7 of his 11 starts this year. You could not say the same about Brett Tomko. The Padres have dropped 10 of his last 12. And Tomko himself has actually pitched much better for Bruce Bochy on the road than here at home. 2 and 4 here at home. It's fouled back. Bruce Bochy, by the way, 20 years in the Padres organization.
He's a good manager. He's had 2 times manager of the year, but he's had a lot of injuries to deal with and young players that they're trying to prepare to move into their new stadium.
That's the first base runner for the Cardinals. If you'd like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinals home game, here's a chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. And good luck from Southwest Airlines. Houston a winner this afternoon. They beat Cincinnati. They're now 3-0 to start the second half. And they actually have the best winning percentage in the second half of the season for the last 3 years in the National League. Watch out. And to me, that's the team that you watch even more so than Cincinnati, who picked up Dempster and still is in second place. Catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big crowd here at Qualcomm Stadium. One of the bigger crowds they've had this year. The runner goes, thrown out to second. And Polanco has himself a stolen base.
3rd steal for Polanco and 4 attempts.
Tony La Russa trying to get something going here.
Absolutely, and get a good jump off this pitcher, and also with Lampkin throwing, not the most gifted thrower.
And Tony would know all about that.
Yeah.
So Polanco, his 3rd stolen base this year. He's at second with 1 out, and the count is 1-2 on Edmonds. He corks this one the opposite way, pretty deep. Gant going back near the wall, and he has it. Just not far enough. That gets out in most ballparks.
Yeah, this is a big ballpark, and as we say, it plays even bigger at night. And Dan, you know, there were times earlier in the history of this ballpark that you had to hit it into the stands, where they didn't have the temporary wall in front of the stands. So in the times in the past it played even bigger.
Without question, it's a pitcher's park. Above average amount of foul territory around the infield. Ever since they enclosed the outfield in '98 to accommodate the Super Bowl, the ball really carries pretty poorly, and it's especially poor here at night. Here's Albert Pujols. Takes a ball low and away. Plate is covered in shadows, so the pitches disappear halfway towards the plate. You'll see that tomorrow. But you'll also see some shadows here at night.
Well, we talked about it, how people have said that the hitters are at a disadvantage, that there's not enough light at home plate, and Bruce Bochy continues to tell the Padres to turn off the 20 lights that shine down on home plate to help his pitching staff. You can even look at it. You look at the pitcher, how much brighter he is. There's the 20 lights right there, thereabouts, that they do not turn on, and it works to the advantage. Now they're going to intentionally pass to see the shadows, but pitcher actually lighter than home plate. So once again, like last night, they're making sure that Tino Martinez couldn't come through in the clutch. He's been ejected already in this game, so we'll see what Perez can do.
It's the third time that Pujols has been intentionally passed already in this series. And here's Perez in his first plate appearance of the evening. They're still looking for our first run and our first base hit from either side. And neither side has left a man thus far. Eduardo's only hitting 155 on the year. 3 of the first 4 hits he had on the season were home runs, and big ones, key ones.
He's 5 for 16 with 7 RBIs his last 6 starts. This is not a start, but almost.
Weak ground ball to second. Eduardo strands a couple. The Cardinals are done here in the top of the 4th. Top of the order is due up in the bottom half. Vasquez. Hey, Cardinal fans, now is the time to book your summer birthday party. Prairie Farms Birthday Bash amenities include a game ticket, all you can eat chicken tenders, hot dogs and chips, Fredbird birthday cookie, personal visit by Fredbird himself. You receive everything for only $25 per person. Here's the number to call. It's 425-0600 to schedule your child's Prairie Farms Birthday Bash. Padres half of the 4th. Leadoff man Vasquez. Morris has seen the minimum thus far. Vasquez lined out to left. Back in the 1st. One ball, one strike. So Vasquez, Tomko, and Lampkin, all part of that deal with Seattle during the offseason. All 3 in the lineup tonight for Bruce Bochy. 1-2 on a strike low and away. Young Cardinal fan here in San Diego. That's good to see. Last season, Vasquez split time between Tacoma and Seattle. Tacoma, the Triple-A affiliate of the Mariners.
Tim Flannery, third base coach for the Padres, hanging 10 on that ball that got by him.
Now, is he a musician?
He is a musician. He's got 5 CDs. We may hear some of his music tomorrow.
All right. Here's Pena to his left. Good play. And the first out here in the bottom half of the 4th. And he does that for charity.
Well, what he does is he's raised a lot of money and helped foot the bill to bring kids to see games around the country. But he's, as I said, he's got 5 different CDs. He has a lot of fun with it. Got a chance to meet a lot of people. Very earthy songs that he writes.
He spent his entire big league career here in San Diego.
Yeah, he was, I guess, probably the example for a lot of our younger people, or kind of a Rex Hudler type. There's an awful lot of members of the Kotze family here today.
About 30,000 plus.
They gave away the Kotze jerseys today. And it was interesting, during batting practice, all of Mark's teammates were wearing Kotze jerseys.
Kotze was in Florida for a while. They've had some players go through the Marlins. So on the night that it's his jersey night, they sign him to a long-term contract to remain here in San Diego.
The problem is he has to share it with everybody that's wearing a Kotsay 14 jersey. Uh-oh.
Can't forget number 19, can you? No way.
And I talked to Tony Gwynn on opening day. He was in St. Louis doing some broadcasting. And I said, you know, how's it going? You know, he's going to be a full-time, or he's going to be the head coach at San Diego State, his alma mater, down the road. And this year he was kind of doing some part-time stuff with him. And he said, I said, you know, even the players have changed since you have gotten to the big leagues. And he said, what do you think I'm going to college for?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. What a great coach he'll be.
Yeah, he was a tremendous basketball player also. That remains to be seen. I guess he feels that the college hitters will listen to him more than big league hitters.
Is that the reason, besides the one that you gave, that he wanted to go to that ranks of player?
I think so. Just that those kids don't know it all yet.
2 balls and a strike on Klesko. Don't think of Ryan Klesko being a speedy guy, but he led Major League first baseman in steals last year and the year before. Hits for big-time power. Shoots this one. Past Pujols. That'll go to the wall, and Klesko is digging for 2, and he'll stop right there. Thought Albert was going to lay out, make a tremendous play. Instead, it just shot by him for a 2-out double, and Klesko's at second. First hit on the night for either side.
Well, Ryan's becoming so much better of a hitter, using all parts of the field. And there you see kind of a bad approach. Ball was hit so hard that I don't know, even going back on it, whether he could have stopped that ball. But obviously coming in on it, it was easy for it to get by him.
You're watching the Cardinals on WB11, KPLR TV St. Louis, and the Cardinals Television Network. Hope you're enjoying this one. Here's Phil Nevin. Fastball misses in. We've talked about the mental state of Matt Morris an awful lot, but his back has been bothering him as well as the mental state of the game for Matt when he's on the mound. You saw him after that base hit. Stretch down, touch his toes, kind of stretch out his back a little bit. 2-0. Ron Gant on deck. Good pitch there. Tim Flannery, by the way, the third base coach, was part of the coaching staff for Bruce Bochy during the All-Star game in '99. That was at Fenway Park, and he was the man that was throwing BP to Mark McGwire when Big Mac put on one of the great displays that we've seen in that contest. 13 first-round home runs.
Yeah, they always name a couple of managers as honorary coaches, but the manager for the All-Star game brings his coaching staff. And a lot of it has to do with helping out BP and all the different things. Phil Nevin walked his first time up. He didn't like this call. Thought it was a little bit wide, but Wally Bell said no, it's strike 2, so we got a full count.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Good pitch by Matty Moe. 3 strikeouts on the night. Padres strand a man after a 2-out double. We'll move to the 5th. Hey, Cardinal fans, here's a chance to take to the field just like the Redbirds. Register at participating shop and save locations at the Nabisco display for your chance to take the field with the Cardinals players before a Sunday home game. It's the Nabisco shop and save kids starting lineup at the ballpark, and we'll do that before many of the Sunday dates at home, and that is a fantastic way to get your kid down to the ballpark if you have a chance to do so and are lucky enough to get on the field prior to a game. Here's Renteria, and it's 2-0.
I bet there's some seats remaining for the 17th and 18th. The only time the Giants will be in town. Get a chance to see the reigning home run champion, Barry Bonds, and that good Dusty Baker team.
Is Bonds getting nicer, or is it just me? He seems to be putting out a better persona.
Oh, Oh yeah, it started last year, and I think people have responded to it better.
I think he is seeing the positive out of it.
Sure.
And maybe in turn it's helped him.
You know, Dan, I learned a long time ago, it's probably easier to try and put a nice or positive image out there than to try and be surly and try to be, you know, bad. It takes more effort, you know, to be obnoxious.
Some argument right now with Ted Williams passing who is the greatest living hitter. You know, so many Cardinal fans, of course, Stan the Man will come to mind, but ask a lot of the players that even played in the era of Stan the Man, they're going to say the guy that patrols left now for San Francisco arguably could be the best, and that's Barry Bonds. Ground ball hit short. And Renteria tonight is 0 for 2. A pair of groundouts to the shortstop. Tony Gwynn's name here in San Diego. You think about that. As being one of the great hitters, obviously,
sure,
of all time. Stan Musial.
I thought it was interesting, and as they honored San Diego native Ted Williams here at the ballpark and remembered him. Jerry Coleman was part of that, and I think he named 5 of the greatest combination of average and power hitters, and obviously Stan Musial was one that he included in that bunch.
You just never know what would have been with Ted Williams if he doesn't stop playing and serve his country for 5 years. The kind of numbers he could have put up in the prime of his career.
2 times, both in World War II and Korea. He was one of Marine Corps ace pilots, as well as Jerry Coleman.
Right. World War II and the Korean War. And one of the great scenes, and we were just talking about that '99 All-Star game, was seeing Ted Williams with all the modern day players and what he said to McGuire. Remember that, Al?
Yeah.
You foul one back, you smell burning wood.
I met Ted Williams right here in San Diego, where one time they had the All-Star game here, and they had the old timers game. Representing the Cardinals were Hall of Famers Enos Slaughter, Hall of Famers Lou Brock, Hall of Famer Bob Gibson, and Hall of Shamer Al Raboska. But Gibby told me of facing Ted Williams in a spring training game, and he told me pitch for pitch what happened. The next day I was with Ted Williams going to the Fan Fest, and I said, Ted, Bob told me what he remembers. What do you remember from the encounter? And he recited every pitch. Both of them had their total recall 30+ years, and you got to remember that had to be at the end of Ted Williams's career and the beginning of Bob Gibson's.
And probably after that conversation you talked for 15, 20, 30 minutes about hitting in the game of baseball,
Well,
didn't you?
yeah, well, the day before, you know, I mean, when he was in the locker room with the old timers, and I was thrilled to be in his presence and wanted to talk to him and wanted to get his autograph, and I asked a couple of the older guys, I said, can I? And is it okay? And they go, by all means, go talk to him, but make sure you talk about baseball. And as long as you talk about baseball, you know, you've got a friend for life.
On base percentage of .483. .483 in his career for Ted Williams, best ever in the game.
And now we can't find leadoff men to get over 350.
Yeah. Swing and a miss, and DeFelice strikes out for the second time here tonight. 4 Ks for Brett Tomko, 2 in the inning. We played 4.5, and there's no score. It's a grand slam for Taurus. $3,000 cash back or 0% APR for 60 months. 2 qualified buyers. Ford and your quality Ford stores. Your home run to summer fun. There's Bud Smith along with Woody Williams. Bud will make the start tomorrow afternoon. This day in baseball history is brought to you by Schnucks. Back in 1972, In a contest which lasts only 93 minutes, the Cardinals play the quickest 9-inning game in their history. Cards defeated the Braves by the score of 2-0. Here's Bud Smith. No-hitter in the stadium last year. In that 3-game set, might have been the best pitching the Cardinals have ever seen. And have been able to put out there with Bud Smith's no-hitter. Woody Williams faced the minimum in that game, a complete game, and Matt Morris pitched into the 9th of his victory. There's Woody and Bud. And Bud, of course, the start tomorrow afternoon. Woody has been put on the DL if you're just joining us, and J.D. Drew has been activated for the Cardinals. Not in the lineup, though, here tonight.
And maybe a few days before he does get back in lineup, but Tony's thinking is, you know, it was inevitable to put Woody on, so you're basically playing with a 24-man roster. You never know. Situation may arise where J.D. could pitch hit and win a ball game for you.
Former Padre Andy Benes will make a start against Los Angeles.
They felt like he's had a couple good bullpen sessions with Dave Duncan.
Tap foul off the bat of Ron Gant.
And I know that, you know, he made a start at A-ball and the numbers were kind of ugly, but if you really got past the numbers, Dave Duncan will tell you, through 5 shutout innings. In the 6th inning, he gave up a 3-run home run and really tired in the 8th inning. So the numbers, as far as Dave was concerned, were very good, and was not alarmed by what the overall numbers were.
Breaking ball hit to short. There's Renteria. There's a throw up the line, but a good play by Perez for the first out. Morris has looked very, very good here tonight. He's allowed just 1 hit. That was a double to Ryan Klesko with 2 outs last inning. The Kotze dress is also in effect here tonight.
That young man knows how to wear a uniform. But the pants are a little long too. There's the adult version. I think all Matt needs to do is finish off one of these games, get a win, and then just kind of build from there.
Quickly goes 0-2 on Bubba Trammell. Played collegiately at the University of Tennessee, an All-American back in 1994. There's the line on Morris thus far. Pair of strikeouts, just 1 walk. And only 1 hit. You were out of the booth. This date in baseball history was the quickest Cardinals victory back in 1972. Do you remember?
Time-wise?
Time-wise.
Hour 18.
Just something like that. And the guys in the truck put that back up if they get a chance.
Well, and of course, my first inclination would be you knew who started that ball game. I would have to say Bob Gibson.
Yeah, that's right. Just missed on the outside corner.
That was, there you see, 93 minutes. The Braves. No, that probably was Bob Gibson against Phil Niekro. But it wasn't.
We're told it's not.
Yeah, something in my ear just told me it was nothing.
He said it's probably this and probably that, and then the guy in the ear says, but it wasn't.
Well, then tell me who it is.
That's over the head of Bubba Trammell, and it's a walk handed out by Matt Morris. Second walk he has issued here tonight. 1-out walk to Trammell. That'll bring in Cruz.
The third base runner, 2 walks and a hit.
Last walk that he handed out, he erased it with a double play. Cruz is hitting .256. He grounded to second his first time up, and Morris steps off. His time is called. A beach ball has made its way onto the playing field in right center field. So Jim Edmonds will run it down. Long way to go, and he's got it.
The odd thing about that game against the Braves being only 93 minutes, You're talking about a team that the Cardinals usually beat, but they had to usually outslug it. More like indicative would be a 7-6 score, 6-5, when runs were at somewhat of a premium.
Braves tonight had a good pitcher going. A guy named Tom Glavine against Bartolo Colon. It's a good pitching pairing in Major League Baseball this evening. Houston is 1. They beat Cincinnati. Chicago beat Florida. And there's no score in this one here in the 5th.
Now they told me, I'm trying to think of, it was a teammate of mine. His name was Harrison. Seemed like he lived out in Arizona. He wasn't with the ball club very long. And it's not Rex, but it's, what was his name? Right-hander. And as Rich would say, a handsome young man.
Handsome young man. Here's our Rich Gould reference for tonight. We miss Rich on our road games.
Rory Harrison.
Sorry, it just doesn't ring a bell.
But I think that he was the one that pitched that 93-minute game against the Braves. That's a name that a lot of people won't remember.
Now you're going to have to dig through that media guy.
Just to test my memories.
Cruz did not offer at it, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Nice crowd on hand. Beautiful night here in San Diego. It's one of their bigger crowds of the season. Trammell is running, and Pena, did he get it? No, save, and he dropped the ball. Bruce Bochy started the runner. Bubba Trammell, he calls time. He's hurt. And Pena thought he had the tag put on, then dropped the baseball. And it's 1st and 2nd, only 1 out. Well, Pena tagged him, or if he thought he may have gone out of the line here.
I think he misses him, but he tries to sell it, and he does. And he's in the baseline. He didn't go out of it. So then when he tried to get the out at first base, the ball got away from him. So he's just scored a fielder's choice. No error, no hit.
So it's 1st and 2nd, and a good opportunity here for Tom Lampkin to give the Padres the first lead of the night. Fastball right down the middle. Lampkin struck out his first plate appearance against Morris back in the 3rd. Playing for his 6th major league team. 2nd time he's been here in San Diego. It's been Cleveland, the Padres, Milwaukee, San Francisco, St. Louis, Seattle last year, and back with San Diego. So he has bounced around in his major league career. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bubba Trammell is at 2nd. He seems to be all right. He was limping after that play with Pena. Cruz is at 1st. Time is called. Pitcher Tomko is on deck. Matt Morris has never lost 3 straight. Trying to keep it that way here tonight. Lampkin may have hit into a double play. Pena Renteria on to first. There's your double play. 4-6-3, and we have played 5. Starts with Fernando, the Gold Glover, to Renteria on to first for the double play. The game tomorrow we've got For Your Love after Cardinals baseball tomorrow afternoon here on WB 11. Catch Charmed at 7 and Angel at 8, only here on the WB. We hope you tune in. Top of the 6th, no score between the Cards and the Padres. Matt Morris will lead it off against Brett Tomko. The first pitch is fouled back. Morse popped out to Ryan Klesko his first time up. Tomko has been very, very good here tonight. He's struck out 4. He's had a couple of walks, one of those intentional, to Albert Pujols last inning. And Morris lines it into center. Coming on and making a very nice play is Kotze. And the night he signs his long-term deal, comes up with a very good play in center field.
He's a good player. He was out of collegiate, was named the Golden Spikes Award winner, representing the best college player that year. And his teammate Phil Nevin also won that award at one time.
Here's Vina. Let's see if we can get him going. He is 0 for his last 12, 0 for 2 tonight. Hit by a pitch last night for the 10th time this year and takes a breaking ball for a strike. There you see Phil Nevin weighing on the grass for the leadoff man Vina. Sometimes Vina will try to bunt his way on to break this kind of skid. And he'll usually do it trying to go to that first base side. There's a base hit. And for the Cardinals, the first hit on the night, past a diving Ryan Klesko.
Yeah, Ryan was running in his tracks. Didn't get a good jump. It's like he took his step to his right and his feet slipped out from underneath him.
And here's our Pizza Hut perfect delivery of the game.
Breaks an 0 for 12 streak. And look at what Ryan, see him start slipping there. So a good break for the Cardinals. I was wrong. It wasn't Roy Harrison, and we can't even find him on the book. I know I played with him. But if the answer was Reggie Cleveland from Moose Jaws, Saskatchewan.
It's a hockey player.
He's the one that pitched that game. Reggie Cleveland for, the 93-minute game.
What's Reggie doing these days?
It was a Moose Jaw.
So he's cold.
Bob Plager knows who he is, and he was telling me about him one time. But I mean, played with Reggie, and I haven't seen him since those days. I had the right-handed part. And it had the president's name.
You did? Bean is at first with 1 out, 12 stolen bases on the year. That's tops on the club. See what you can do here with Polanco. Room to the right side. Bean is not running, and the pitch is fouled. And it's 0-2.
Well, they said if Tomko gets by the first couple innings and he's going to have a pretty good game, I guess they were correct about that, as he and Matt Morris have each only allowed 1 hit on the night.
No balls, 2 strikes on Polanco. Klesko holding Bean at first. The outfield is shallow. Placido rounded to short his first time up, walked his second time. Swings and misses and strikes out. 5 strikeouts on the night for the former Red and former Mariner.
Cologne won that game against Atlanta. Bartolo Colon.
As we mentioned before, Chicago over Florida. Matt Clement beat Julian Tavares. San Francisco won their game. Arizona won again, so they're putting the heat on, and now I believe they lead the West by a half game.
Yes, they do move into first place.
It's up to Edmonds with 2 outs, and Vina at first. Edmonds, ground ball and a fair ball. Klesko is there, and Jim tonight is 0 for 3. But Vina breaks up the no-hitter here in the 6th with 1 out. His base hit to the right side, the first hit for St. Louis. This portion of Cardinal baseball on WB11 is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it, and by Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. Great sign here in San Diego.
That's a winner.
Remembering Mr. Jack Buck.
Well, let's remember DK and Jack Buck with a victory.
It's been a well-pitched ball game. Just a hit aside as Morris pitches in the bottom of the 6th.
Not like last night's ball game.
Very much so. Just one mistake made by Simon Tachi, and that was that pitch to Bubba Trammell.
And you know, that was a situation where I think Simon Tachi didn't want to throw that pitch, but out of respect to the veteran catcher, went ahead with Mike Matheny's suggestion. And then what happens in that situation, you throw a half-hearted pitch that doesn't get where you want it.
It was a bad pitch, and Simon Tachi will tell you that, along with Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa. It cost the Cardinals a lead at that point, and a team that they should put away when leading in the 7th inning. Here's a look at our NL Central standings presented by Dodge. And the Cardinals lead it as we speak by 3 games over Cincinnati, 4.5 over the Astros. Houston beat Cincinnati today. The Pirates 8-pack.
Let's win this game, make it 3.5 over the Reds and 5. I didn't really say it because it was just that one pitch. That was a bases clearing double off the bat of Bubba Trammell.
Vasquez takes a breaking ball low and away. He's flying to left, grounded out to second. 0 for 2 on the night. Morris with the strikeout of Tomko. Has 4 on the night.
And you know, there were some people that felt that why was Simon Tachi pitching to Bubba Trammell? That never once entered into my mind.
Vasquez into right center, and it gets down. Just the second hit on the night as Eli quickly gets it back in. There were some that thought that Dave Veers maybe should be brought in that situation, but I'm with you. I thought Simon Tachi was the right guy for the job.
I mean, he's pitched well. He had pitched well with runners on base, and it was just one bad pitch. And
the pitch count was low too at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the pitch count was up, and the pitcher right before, the hitter right before was Phil Nevin. He blew him away, struck him out. And it was a much, much better hitter. And then remember Ron Gant, and some people say that an umpire missed a call, or he would have struck out Ron Gant. He eventually walked, and then he got ahead of Trammell, and then let him get off the hook with a pitch that was, as I said, he wanted to throw a slider. He went with his selection of his catcher. He wanted it inside, and he left it out over the plate.
Kotze rips it towards Eli. Good play by Marrero in right for the second out. That ball was scorched off the bat of Mark Kotze.
Well, it looks like Vasquez's base hit was up in the zone. This one maybe Matt telegraphed a little bit too much, and Kotze really stung it, but right at Marrero.
Eli Marrero, that good speed and right, cutting off the hit before the line out. Look at that, cutting off Jim Edmonds. He got a good jump, and with that great speed, he can be such an equalizer out there in right.
Well, and by cutting it off and playing it so aggressive, it made Vasquez pull up and hold it to a single. If he would have gone for 2, either one of them would have thrown him out. But
there's a line drive and a base hit up the middle. Edmonds will get it back in. It'll be 1st and 3rd for Phil Nevin. Ryan Klesko is 2 for 3 against Morris with a double and now a single.
Here's what we've talked about, and DeFelice is doing the right thing by going out and talking to Matt and say, come on now, Matt, don't let that concentration get away from you. Nothing ball game. You've got to execute your pitches. The pitchers have been getting up in the zone a little bit, and there's another one. There he's running, and for whatever reason, that head should be turned to the left. Pick up your third base coach, or you should an easy read. You know you can go to second base, so pick him up sooner and go on to let the responsibility be on the third base coach instead of you making an improper decision.
So now it's 1st and 3rd, and here's Phil Nevin. People forget this guy was the 1st overall pick back in 1992.
Absolutely, and that's where he, as I said, the Golden Spikes Award winner, the best collegiate player that year, coming into the draft.
And he pulls it left side. Polanco to force play to Vigna at second, and Morris and the Cardinals are out of the inning. We have played 6. from the Q in San Diego, and there's no score. Congratulations to Patricia Hawley, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run here in the 7th, Patricia Hawley will qualify for the grand prize drawing for Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the baseball season. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete an entry form. Pujols jersey and Albert will lead things off for the Cardinals. Here in the top of the 7th, no score and only 4 hits on the night.
Patricia's got a good shot at that home run derby.
With Albert and Eduardo Perez and Renteria for the Cardinals here in the 7th.
And this Tomko has allowed 15 home runs to date.
Albert takes a strike on the outside corner. Intentionally passed his last time up, and he's grounded out. 0 for 1 on the night.
Well, they're going to try to do everything they can to not let Albert beat them. That was their obvious last night and again here today.
Pujols, a little chopper up the middle. Cruz to his left. Settles, throws, got it. Good play. Albert is saying that Klesko is off the bag. But to no avail, and there's one away.
Cruz signed here as a free agent from Detroit. So bouncer up the middle and good stretch by Klesko. And if he stays on the bag, there's no question he's out. C.B. Buckner, who is already part of the controversy, is a very early ejection of Tino Martinez.
That's why we see Perez in there. Tino disputed a ball that was hit up that first base line as to whether or not it was fair or foul. It was called fair, and it was hit right to Klesko, and he had a word or two in that at bat. Then went back on the field. That was in the bottom of the 2nd for the start of that half inning, and was ejected.
Well, it's home plate umpires until the ball gets to the first base bag, but it was fielded past the first base bag, and CB called it a fair ball.
So this is just Eduardo's 2nd plate appearance here tonight. Grounded to 2nd, his first time up. 3 balls and a strike.
A few times that Tomko has fallen behind. He has walked 2. One of them was intentional.
And Perez gets into this one. Left field. Can't go back. And that ball is gone. Home run for Perez. You could just see it coming. On a 3-1 count, Perez loses one into left. Deep left field. How about another game-winning home run for Eduardo if it holds up?
There you go, Patricia.
Patricia Hawley, our merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. Congratulations.
His 5th home run. Does he have 3 or 4 game winners already?
3 of his first 4 hits were home runs. Perez jumped on it, and the Cardinals have themselves a 1-0 lead. Well, he crushed this one.
Extended, he falls behind, he gets challenged, and Perez wins it.
Here's Renteria, and he pops it foul into the seats.
If that holds up, it would be his 4th game-winning hit. And they're all home runs.
So the Hyundai Santa Fe, Patricia Hawley, is now in the running. At the end of the baseball season, Cardinals did hit a home run here in the 7th, so congratulations. Thanks to Eduardo. 1 ball, 1 strike on Renteria. 2-1. The way that Morris's pitch tonight, you feel like this might be enough. That has been very good. Edgar is shot towards 3rd. There's Phil Nevin. There's a 2nd out.
There's been doing a lot of things lately, Perez. Last 6 starts, Perez was batting .313 with 7 RBIs.
Oh, Eli.
Leads the team in pinch hit at bats with 30. And Jim Edmonds definitely wants to sit next to our temporary hero.
Here's Eli Marrero.
Eduardo's wife, if I'm not mistaken, is going to law school.
She
at
is.
WashU.
Eli's playing right field tonight.
He's got to hit a couple home runs to pay for the tuition.
1 ball, 1 strike. I'd like to see Eli behind the plate a little more than he has been playing behind there, but out of necessities and the outfield mode, more times than not, that great speed. And if you talk to Eli, he says, don't put me back there.
Yeah, he's kind of gotten to the point now where he prefers the outfield.
He doesn't like it behind the plate.
He will do whatever he's asked, but foul balls hurt.
Yes, they do. Eli pops it up into shallow center field. Vasquez, the second baseman, back there and has it. Eduardo Perez, the home run. Will it hold up? Cardinals lead it 1-0. Let's turn to our Suntrip Automotive Family Group trivia question. When was the last time the Cardinals scored a run in every inning of a game? Any guesses?
You looking for a date?
1964 in Chicago. You had no idea. No one had any idea.
I wouldn't have thought it was that long ago. 64 was a pretty good year.
Yes, it was.
I can't remember if it was off the charts, but
it was. Vintage year.
It was off the baseball charts.
Yes, it was.
And a vintage year in Cardinal hitters. Cardinal history.
The man there on the left of the screen is a wonderful, and that's not Mike Shannon, by the way.
He's a tired man.
He is a very tired man. He's been hanging out with Mike Shannon. One of Mike's very good friends. That's a good play by Edmonds. He'll get it back in quickly, but not in time. And Gant, the 2-time All-Star, is at second. Leadoff double here in the 7th.
And this is what you want to see. Matt Morris, bow his neck and start being very aggressive and go after these guys. They had him swung way around to the right side, so Jim, after a long run to his left, gets that ball, cuts it off, and gets it back in. But we saw last night Ron Gant can still run. He scored the tying run off the bases clearing double by this man, Bubba Trammell.
And he did it yesterday in the 7th. Crowd now with a little buzz to him. They come alive, and Trammell spins away from a breaking ball and misses low and in. Bubba here tonight is struck out and walked.
He's really only going to hit the fastball or a hang and breaking ball.
2-0.
Here, Matt. The most important inning is for that guy to shut the door after your team gives you a lead. And
ground ball. Morris almost had it. Vina to first, and they get Bubba Trammell, but moving up on the play, it's Ron Gant to third. That play was close at first.
A little too close.
So Trammell does his job as the runner moves up. And let's see if Morris can get a strikeout of Davy Cruz.
Watch this play. Everybody took it for granted, but Trammell was running hard and very close there at first base. So this is where you really have to bow your neck. Dave Duncan's going to come out and talk. Remember, this is the 7th hitter. And you have Lampkin and Tomko. They could obviously pinch hit, but Cardinals have a decision to make. You pitch around Cruz, set up a double play situation, go after the 8th or 9th place hitter.
You got Lampkin on deck, and Davy Cruz tonight is grounded out to second and hit into a forced play as well. So he's 0 for 2 on the night.
you hit a ground ball to second base, you could have a tie score.
Right. Both times he has hit the ball on the right side of the infield.
So you have to wait and see what they do with the infield. They're going to probably play them in.
So Davy Cruz, who signed as a free agent, is the man at the plate. And Boers will deal with him. Infield in, the first pitch. This is outside.
Peacock. Jeremy is warming up.
After spending 5 years with the Tigers, Cruz now with San Diego. A shot to Renteria. The only play he can get is at first, and this game is tied. It was a one-hopper to him. If he fields that cleanly, he might have a play at the plate, Al.
Well, he would have had a play at the plate, but you had to execute. The plane in, the ball was hit extremely hard. Stopped it. He's going on contact, so there would have been a play there, but he could just knock it down. He does recover to get the second out of the inning, but not before Gant comes across his home plate, and we're all tied up at 1-1.
That pitch was up in the zone to Cruz, and he ripped it.
My pitch has been up.
Last couple of innings. Here's Lampkin now, and it's a brand new game, and our home plate umpire is hit with that foul ball.
Wally Bell.
Isn't he the same umpire that was at Busch a couple of weekends ago in a game that we did, and he took a foul ball off the hand and a foul ball off the shoulder blade?
No.
Okay. Well, that was my question, and you answered it.
Because Wally's a good guy that I usually go down and see him when he's in town.
He's one of the umpires you actually fraternize with?
Yeah, man. I don't fraternize with anybody. That costs you money, can't you tell? That's still on the books, that it's a fine for ball players to fraternize. And another pitch up in the zone, a breaking ball there. That's something that Lampkin can handle.
Morris has only allowed 4 hits here tonight.
They did have a pitcher warming up, but after they tied the score, he sat down with Tomko on deck.
Lampkin is only hitting 186, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging, grounded into a double play.
Crowd getting excited about that one.
DeFelice didn't even really offer at it.
Kind of raised his hand a little bit.
So that's a ball, forget it. Now it's a full count.
Fastball away, don't make it too good.
He got him on the outside corner. Lampkin is over 3, but the Padres have tied the score here in the 7th. Ron Gant has tied it. It's 1-1. Well, Matt Morris, it does not look like he is going to hit this inning. We're in the top of the 8th, and the game is tied 1-1. Kerry Robinson, along with J.D. Drew, have moved to the on-deck circle. Mike DeFelice is due up first, followed by Morris's spot, then the top of the order. So Robinson is going to be our auto tire pinch hitter. Kerry will pinch hit for Mike DeFelice, and Mike is done tonight. And again, this is our auto tire pinch hitter, Kerry Robinson. So Robinson, the pinch hitter, followed by J.D. Drew.
Well, or if Robinson gets on, then you have Matt sacrifice him over, and then save J.D. for another spot. Or give you an option. Unless he gets into scoring position, you may have him just let J.D. swing away and try and drive him in.
Robinson hitting .265, a start last night for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals in right.
His speed was instrumental in getting the 3rd run. And that holding a bat. Let's get him a run or 2 and make him a winner.
Kerry trying to bunt his way on, and bunts it foul, and quickly it's 0-2. Kerry on the year as a pinch hitter. 4 for 27 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Against San Diego, he's 5 for 13 in his career. J.D. Drew is now on the roster. If you're just joining us, Woody Williams has been put on the disabled list. And something that Tony La Russa will do with J.D. Drew is pinch hit him and spot start him here and there. How many times are we going to see him in consecutive games with that sore knee? Robinson sticks the bat out and lines out to Phil Nevin. That could have been dangerous if that one gets past him.
Ron Gant, the left fielder, was playing there, and now Booker, the pitching coach, Greg Booker, will come out and talk to Tomko as we have another auto tire pinch hitter, J.D. Drew.
It's nice to see J.D. back in there. And last night we reported that Tony La Russa told us he didn't expect to see him until possibly the homestand in St. Louis, but now here's J.D. Drew, and that's good to see.
Well, you know, you were playing with a 24-man roster, and so why not, you know, say, J.D., you're eligible to come off today. You know, we know you're not 100%, but we can still utilize you.
So J.D. is our auto tire pinch hitter. And it's logical. Woody Williams could not pinch run, pinch hit, throw. So if he had a game that, you know, hypothetical, if you go into a game that's 18, 20 innings, something like that, some kind of crazy game, and you're down to having to pinch run anybody or pinch hit, might as well have a guy like Drew ready to go.
Didn't really have anybody in the system that you wanted to bring up for a couple days until you activate Andy Bennis to make the start on Tuesday, is what we're hearing.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to J.D. up the middle. Good play, Vasquez, and safe at first is J.D. Drew.
See, and because of his speed, even with his sore patella tendonitis, it has a factor in them rushing the throw and J.D. getting on base.
So Drew with 1 out, a pinch hitter, and reaches on the infield hit.
And he scored a single, but looked like it came out of the box running pretty hard. Bad throw, and that's why you got him on the active roster. Tomko didn't like it, but puts a little pressure on him. That is only the 3rd Cardinal hit. Pena has the first one.
You have to go back to the 6th inning for that. Pena offered at it, fooled by the breaking pitch. 2-1. Pena tonight was grounded out to 3rd, flied out to right, and a single back in the 6th. The other hits for the Cardinals, a home run by Eduardo Perez, a lone run, and then of course J.D. Drew standing at first.
Checked out Jordan's hair, Pena's son.
It's all plat.
Oh yeah. Look out, girls.
Pena to Klesko. That's 1. Can they get 2? They do. Tomko pumps his fist. He gets out of the inning. He is through 8. And this game is tied at 1-1 after the double play off the bat of Fernando Pena. This portion of Cardinal baseball on WB11 is brought to you by your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. By Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. And by Subway. Come in today and let Subway show you how good a fresh-made sandwich can be. Subway. Eat fresh. The charts are out for Dave Duncan. Steve Klein will enter the game for St. Louis. Matt Morris went 7 innings for the Cardinals and gave up a run, and this game is tied at 1-1 as we move to the bottom of the 8th in San Diego. Steve Klein appearing for the 29th time this year. Gave up that winning hit to Ryan Klesko in the winning RBI last night. And moving behind the plate, Eli Marrero. So Eli from right field to behind the plate for St. Louis.
Kerry Robinson stays in the game to play right.
And here's Buchanan for the Padres. First pitch he sees and fouls it back.
Big, strong guy that they acquired yesterday from Minnesota. He was originally drafted by the first-round pick of the Yankees. It was first round, 24th overall in '94.
Here's the 0-1 from Klein, and that misses outside.
They gave up a minor league shortstop, Jason Bartlett. 252 average, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs in 44 games with Minnesota.
During San Diego's batting practice, I was sitting next to Tony La Russa when Buchanan stepped into the box, and he said, boy, oh boy, is this guy big. Get down the field. This is a strapping major league player. Now, this guy is a big player physically. On 1 and 2, he stays alive.
In situations like this, he was 6 for 17 at 353 average in close and late situations.
Approaching 9 o'clock here in San Diego. You're watching the Cardinals on WB11, KPLR TV, St. Louis. Glad you're with us. Our Bud Sports crew, Al Rabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Tying him up a bit, but did not go around, so it's 2 and 2.
Steve told me he wanted to get back to being aggressive. It looked like he was just trying to contain his emotions a little too much, but it was affecting him negatively pitching.
He got him on the outside corner, and a strikeout of Buchanan. Good pitch by Klein. We have seen, Al, here tonight, a pretty wide zone by our home plate umpire, especially to the right-handed hitters at outside portion of the plate.
Yeah, but it's been consistent, so here in the 8th inning, you got to know that if Roy Bell's calling it out there, he's going to probably continue it.
Here's Vasquez, a leadoff man. Line drive up the middle, and is it caught?
Yes.
He got it. Edmonds made the play. Nice play by Jim Edmonds. He was tied up a bit on that one, but he made the play, and Edmonds has out number 2.
See how that ball just sunk on him so quickly, almost a snow cone.
The Cardinal fans, go to MLB.com, the ultimate baseball website. Listen to game day audio, watch highlights, and baseball's best and more on MLB.com. 2 outs, nobody on, and here's Mark Kotsay. I think Edmonds was kind of confused whether to dive or to kind of corral it like he did. Kind of caught in between.
I think it had so much topspin on it that it's
sinking,
just sinking on him a lot quicker than he thought.
Up the middle, played perfectly. There's Renteria, and a good inning by Steve Klein. 1, 2, 3. We played 8. We'll head to the 9th. Polanco, Edmonds, and Pujols coming up. Don't go anywhere. Home field advantage goes to the family arriving at the game in their Ford Windstar. Now with $3,000 cash back or 0% APR financing. Ford and your quality Ford stores. Your home run to summer fun. Of course, the Bud Beach out in left center field. Those folks are seen a great ball game here tonight. Just 7 total hits and a 1-1 game as we head to the 9th. Normally in the 9th inning, when this guy is on the mound now, we're talking about closing games out. Trevor Hoffman, who closed out a save last night, he has a record of 1-1, 2.36 ERAs in the league lead as far as among the league leaders with saves in the majors, and of course here in the National League. And with this lineup coming up in a 1-1 game with Polanco, Edmonds, and Pujols, Bruce Bochy's not going to take any chances, is he?
Not at all. So bring in Trevor Hoffman, picked up his 21st save last night, striking out the side. 333 in his potential Hall of Fame career. 7th on the all-time list. Next up is Raleigh Fingers, who ranks 6th with 341. And a pitcher with 5 straight 40 save seasons.
There you saw the fastball by Hoffman, and most people remember Trevor Hoffman as having that mid-90s to upper 90s fastball, but now he'll top out around 88 or 89. He's got great command and maybe the best changeup in the major leagues. Polanco fouls it away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He suffered his first blown save right before the All-Star break. That was at San Francisco, and he had converted prior to that blown save a big league best 27 straight save opportunities before that slight little blemish before the All-Star game, in which he was representing the Padres at Milwaukee on Tuesday night. Polanco lines this one into shallow center, and Kotsay makes a sliding catch. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Hoffman, a little help from Kotsay in center for out number 1, and that'll bring in Jim Edmonds, who's made a sliding catch of his own here tonight. Trevor Hoffman originally came up as a shortstop. He's broke into the professional ranks as a shortstop, then converted to a pitcher.
He's a fitness freak.
See him frequently running around the ballpark here in San Diego. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well before anybody gets here.
Made the conversion from a power pitcher to his best pitch today is the changeup. He still has a curveball and a slider go along with the fastball and change.
Edmonds, a fastball, and looks at it on the outside corner.
You mentioned Wally Bell with that wide strike zone tonight. Edmonds didn't like it, but the game has flowed along with only 7 hits and 2 runs.
On 1 and 2, Edmonds takes the ball. How about this, Al? 5 of the Cardinals' last 6 losses have been decided in the 7th inning or later. We're talking about Heartbreak City as of late. A few of those games with the Dodgers. In the long homestand, it started out with a couple of losses to Milwaukee, late innings. Edmonds shoots one the opposite way. That ball is slicing and foul. Just foul on the mound there in that San Diego bullpen. Stays 2 and 2.
Goes off the bullpen mound down there. Well foul. So you could see how the ball could be fair and then slice into that cutout area, and the runner could be circling the bases.
Edmonds almost had a home run here tonight. Hit one to the wall and left. Takes it up the middle. Good job of hitting there by Jim Edmonds. And a 1-out base hit. Hung in there long enough and just took it right back up the middle.
Trevor didn't look like a shortstop on the ball back up the middle towards the end of the bat, and once it got by Trevor, it had enough steam on it to get into center field. So see here what Albert Pujols can do.
Nowhere to put Pujols right now with Edmonds at first. Albert has been intentionally passed 3 times already by Bruce Bochy in this series, and once here tonight.
And they have done everything they could to avoid him beating them.
Albert is 0 for 2, and every pitch that he has seen has been away, away, away. They're going to be careful with the reigning Rookie of the Year. Now Lampkin wants to talk it over with Trevor Hoffman.
Talk it over, but talking about a hitter, Albert Pujols, that you may be able to make a case that he's having a better year this year than he did last year. The only thing that's down is his average a little bit, but he's scored more runs. He has more doubles, the same amount of home runs as last year at this time, 1 more RBI than last year, more walks, and he's cut down his strikeouts.
Certainly a double play candidate, though. That's a fair ball, and Klesko just reaches out, makes the play, and then reaches over for the bag. Moving up, though, it's Edmonds to second. C.B. Buckner has been busy tonight.
couldn't get in trouble with this one. It was a good thing that Edmonds was running, or we might have had another 3-6-3 double play. Albert was out about the time they fielded the ball.
Now there's 2 outs in this 1-1 game here in the 9th. In steps Eduardo Perez, who was homered for the Cardinals. The first run of this game back in the 7th. Center fielder Katse pretty shallow. Base hit could give the Cardinals a lead with Edmonds at second. And the first pitch, a fastball in there to Eduardo. 88 from Trevor Hoffman. Take you back to the 7th inning, and no doubt about this. Perez unloaded on Brett Tomko to give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Dribbles that one foul. He was way ahead of that changeup. And it's 0-2, and Hoffman can play with Perez right here.
Question is, will Perez play back?
Trevor makes it pretty tough.
There's still enough variance from his fastball to change it.
He played with him a little bit there.
Yeah, and the bat thrown into the dugout.
Bottom of the 9th coming up. 1-1 St. Louis and San Diego. Bottom of the 9th. Steve Klein will stay in this game. And the Padres now will have Ryan Klesko, Phil Nevin, and Ron Gant. So the heart of their order is coming up. And you could see where Klein maybe would just face one man. Klesko hitting from the left side, who had a base hit against Steve last night, and then maybe bring in the right-hander Crudale, who's been warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Will be the order, and then you definitely have Steve available, as well as Matthews, for tomorrow afternoon's game.
Klesko has had a nice night, 2 for 3. That was against Matt Morris.
He got the game-winning hit off of Steve Klein yesterday, and he has become a very good hitter against left-handed pitching. 337 average and 8 home runs.
First pitch is slider.
The slider that he hit yesterday was up a little bit. It was only the second hit off of Steve Klein, but he didn't expect him to, kind of trying to get ahead, and he didn't expect him to go out there and be ready for it. He just thought he'd roll over the top of it, hit a little weak ground ball.
Here's what you're talking about, 337. And just 1 homer shy of the 9 that he's hit against righties. On 2-0, Klesko takes a ball. And the green light will be on for Klesko, as 17 home runs and 50 RBIs. Nothing too fine here. He'll lose it in a hurry. Fastball up and in, and Klesko on 4 straight draws a walk.
3 consecutive times he's been on base tonight. 2 hits and now a walk.
He represents the winning run. He's at first. Crudale has been warming up in the bullpen. Here comes Dave Duncan. He's going to make the change right now. So Duncan calls for Mike Crudale to come in. 4 straight, and the walk handed by Steve Klein to Klesko.
I think why Dave Duncan is making the call is so he can go over a scouting report with Crudale as to how to pitch to Nevin and Gant and Tremor if need to.
So Crudale will be the 3rd pitcher used by Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan. 1-1, bottom of the 9th. The past homestand prior to the All-Star break, Mike Crudale picked up his first major league win. He threw a scoreless 5th inning in a victory over San Diego, and he has been very good this year. Been called up a couple of times from AAA, where he was the closer at Memphis. He's spanned 17 here in the major leagues in his 20-plus innings pitched, and has walked just 3, so he comes in a very tough spot. Tony La Russa showing some confidence in young Mike Crudale, with a man on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th.
I think they like him. He's very aggressive, goes right after hitters. Here's his third stint with the Redbirds. He was 1-0, 7 saves, and an ERA under 2 in 13 games at AAA. And this is his 18th game here at the Major League level, including a start.
There's Phil Nevin, over 100 home runs as a Padre in his career. It's top 5 all time for the Pods.
He was the 5th fastest to 100 RBIs in their franchise history. Nate Colbert was, I think, their all-time leader.
Also in home runs.
Right. The former St. Louis. I think Nate is a ordained minister.
Ron Gant is on deck. Klesko at first represents the winning run here in the bottom of the 9th. There's a drive into right field, a base hit. And stopping at second will be Klesko. First and second, nobody out. Ron Gant, a chance to win it.
Joe La Russa had Matt Morris on the mound. Matt pitched extremely well, but he gives up 1 run, and Tomko pitched slightly better. Pitch out away from him, and this dangerous bat back in the lineup after being on the disabled list. They're 20-20 when Phil Nevin has played this year. A team that's well under 500 when he's out of the lineup.
That's the winning run right there. Klesko at second. Gant has a double tonight. The ball that just got by Albert Pujols and left and went to the wall.
Phillies have hit it, Padres have hit into a triple play earlier this year. Ricky Gonzalez did that.
First pitch to Gant, he squares and pulls back.
All they're trying to do is play for the winning run.
Interesting with a guy that has a double tonight. A little power, of course, with Ron Gant, but as you said, that winning run is at second, and there's nobody out.
I remember Ron Gant is a 175 hitter when facing a right-handed pitcher. Right-handed pitcher, 345 against left-handers.
Bubba Trammell is on deck. Klesko at second. Nevin at first. And Gant will bunt his way on. At least advance the runners up. Does the job. Past Trudell. Fielded by Polanco. Winning run 90 feet away.
The respect they have for Bruce Bochy, even when a player like Ron Gant is asked to sacrifice, they're more than happy to. And when you're playing so far under 500, you got to do these things. Check your ego at the door. Come play team baseball.
Well, Bubba Trammell had a double with the bases loaded to tie the game last night. And now it's second and third. First base is open. Davy Cruz is on deck. So do you walk Bubba Trammell here and load him up?
You know what? The type of hitter that he is, I don't walk him. I throw my sliders to him. Let him get himself out. And then you're not throwing him a strike. So if you do end up walking him, but I think Trammell is the kind of guy that you make good pitches, he'll get himself out.
Bubba's only hitting .223. Infield, or rather the outfield, very shallow, and the infield is playing in for the play at the plate. Winning run is Klesko at third.
A 163 batter against right-handed pitching.
Popped up. Backing up. Vina, he has it. And gets it back in. That is out number 2. And Bubba didn't do the job, and Crudell is 1 out away from getting out of this and sending it to the 10th.
And that pitch looked like sacrifice fly written all over it, but his eyes got a little bit too big and he popped it up. He knew he got away with the pitch. The ball up there, and you see that he knew he got underneath it. Klesko goes back to tag up, but he knows he can't do anything. Boy, Vigna was backpedaling. Robinson and Edmonds were just running flat out trying to get in. So 2 outs.
And here's Davy Cruz. Edmonds very shallow in center field. Now he's taking a few steps backwards. It's second and third. 2 outs. Base hit wins it. Strike right down the middle. 91 miles an hour from Crudale.
Right, you know, the first time you see Mike, he's going to be a little deceptive the way he jumps at the hitter. And this is what they like. You know, he's not afraid out there. He's going to come right after guys. They may beat him on occasion, but they're going to know they're in the battle.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Line drive. Edmonds should get it. He does. Crudale does the job. It started with a walk, then a base hit, a sacrifice. It was second and third, only 1 out. Trammell popped out. Cruz flies out. Crudale gets out of the 9th. We'll head to the 10th. It's 1-1. Mike Crudale does the job and extends the game into the 10th. It's 1-1. Pitched out of a jam against Bruce Bochy and the Padres. And the Padres will have a new pitcher. Steve Reed is in the game for the 36th time he'll appear this season. He's riding 5 2/3 of scoreless baseball his last 6 times out. He's allowed only 1 run in his last 12 appearances. And 1 run over his past 13 innings. So Tony La Russa and Bruce Bochy trying to match wits here. And this has been a very well played game. 9 hits total. Cardinals have left 4 on. They have just 4 hits. Padres 1 run, 5 hits, and they have left 6 and 2 costly ones last inning. Ryan Klesko standing at third. Less than 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, and they can't bring him in. And now Trevor Hoffman has been used in this game. So he's out. And that's another factor as well.
Absolutely. The Cardinals still have their closer. Steve Reed, side armor. He plays some fits with some of the right-handed batters, but what Crudale just did, frequently you'll see the offense start clicking.
Renteria, Eli Marrero, and then Kerry Robinson for St. Louis. First pitch, strike to Edgar. You can see him spin away. Reed can be very tough on righties. Fastball misses low and into Edgar.
Eugene Kingsale stays in the ball game, plays right field.
Renteria twice has grounded out to short. Another time to third. He's over 3. That's ripped and a fair ball down the left field line, and Edgar's going to dig for 2. He's running hard. This will be close. He is safe. He got to the outside portion of the bag and slid perfectly into second. A leadoff double. He was aggressive right out of the box. Gant made it close at second, but Edgar was safe on a very good slide.
Now they weren't guarding the line, and I agree with it. More times than not, you know, you give up too many base hits to the left of a third baseman. It does mean a double or extra base if you get it down the corner. Ron Gant played that ball extremely well and got that ball back in. It was a good thing that Edgar was running hard, leaving the batter's box. Tested him, and they got away with it.
Now Eli Marrero will try to move him to third. 0-for-3 tonight.
Now we've seen as their shortstop will try and jockey with Edgar, trying to keep him very close. And now they're guarding the line. Oh, no.
It's popped up, but the catcher Lampkin tripped on his own mask. I don't think he would have gotten there anyway.
No, he wouldn't.
Strike 1.
It was just poor enough that it ended up being okay. Now Kindo wants to talk to him, but now it looks like Nevin is guarding the line at third. The shortstop is trying to stay close and keep Renteria with a very poor lead at second. Or you just hit anything to the left side and it's going to get through. And if you hit the ball to the right side and not at Klesko, you should be able to advance too.
Eli spins away from ball one. Well, this would be a nice win if the Cardinals could make it happen.
You know, Dan, you think about it, you say, well, the lowly Padres, the Cardinals have just dominated against them since '99, but you still have to win the games. And you catch a break only if you win. If you don't take advantage of it, these games have been tough. You know, well played, hard fought ball games. So, you know, don't take this club lightly.
Think about last night, you're up 3-0 against the Padres in the 7th inning. Can't hold that lead and lose the game. Tonight, kind of reverse of that. They've got the winning run in the bottom of the 9th. Can't bring him in at third with less than 2 outs. Still a long way to go here, though.
And they're a lot different club with Nevin back. Good bunt.
That's going to be a base hit. Eli beats it out, and nobody out.
See, Nevin playing there, but he forgot that the ball was bunted hard enough to get by the pitcher. And so an easy base hit. He's not trying to bunt for a base hit, but he accomplishes that as Reed came forward instead of going to the line. And so at the time he readjusts, then it gets by the pitcher. Nevin had already gone back to third base bag. Edgar stands at third base, and Marrero with a bunt singles over at first.
And Kerry Robinson will be the hitter as Bruce Bochy is talking it over with Reed in the infield. Miguel Cairo now has moved to the on-deck circle. He'll be the pinch hitter after Kerry.
Bruce Bochy has a lot of young pitchers down there. So really he has as much confidence in Reed, a veteran, than some of the young kids in this situation.
Isringhausen, you would figure, would get up pretty soon and start throwing.
He's on the mound. But Dave Veers is throwing in case you do not take the lead. If you do take the lead, then Jason Isringhausen will come in to try and close it out. Let's try and get as many runs as possible. Nobody out. Runners at first and third for Kerry. He hit the ball hard his first time up, but right at the third base.
Line down to Nevin. Corners are in. First baseman Klesko holds a runner Marrero at first base. Middle infield is about halfway. First pitch to Kerry is a strike on the outside corner. Jose Oquendo, third base coach, just claps his hand. It's an encouragement to Kerry. No signs. Go up there, hacking. Drive him in. Renteria started the inning with a leadoff double and a close play at second. Marrero bunted his way on. Perfectly placed bunt, and it's first and third, nobody out.
Times when a guy throws from Laredo down under, tough on the right-handers, but the left-handers get a good release. You get a good look at his release. They do have, like Holtz, who won last night's game, his first National League victory, on warming up.
Strike on the outside corner.
Couldn't pull the trigger on the breaking ball.
Late action here and caught the corner. It's a tough pitch. Now Kerry's in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So now his speed is going to be instrumental.
Robinson Little looper. It's enough. Gets down, and the Cardinals have the lead. It's 2-1 St. Louis. Kerry Robinson fought it off and picked up the base hit. Still nobody out.
I said speed, not muscle.
She'll take it, right?
Absolutely. Renteria, good base running, made sure that ball got down. And there he muscles that ball right over the infield plane in. Cruz may have caught that ball. So the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead here in the 10th. Still nobody out. Runners at first and second. And Miguel Cairo, another auto tire pincher. I'd love to beat you to that.
And you did. Every time I see a little looper like that, I think of Luis Gonzalez. Game 7 of the World Series and a win over the Yankees.
Torture yourself?
Here's Cairo. Let him swing away, or do you bunt to try to move these runners up?
That's the interesting thing. I kind of.
Runners are going, and they stopped halfway as the bunt was pulled back by Cairo. The bunt attempt. Pitch was taken for a ball.
Most of the time, as they cruise the shortstop after bluffing the runner back at second, he sprints to third as the play is designed to get the lead runner at third base. Both first and third men come chasing in.
More sacrifices this year for Cairo as Isringhausen is up and throwing now.
So you don't know if the Cardinals will change their strategy. Phil Nevin, the third baseman, is the quarterback. He'll relay signs to all the infielders to say, okay, what defensive play do we have on? And he hits them. They were both running.
Hit by the pitch. Runners were going, as you mentioned, Al, and Miguel will take first base, and this has been a rough outing for this right-hander. Steve Reed, bases loaded and nobody out.
Boy, right around the elbow, and I sure do like the aggressiveness of Tony La Russa sending both runners there. It loads the bases and nobody out. Bochy now will bring in his left-hander, inherit a bases loaded, nobody out situation.
Inning started with a double by Edgar. Eli Marrero bunted his way on. It was first and third. Kerry Robinson, a little looper over the shortstop, drove in Renteria. Cairo was hit by the pitch, and now Vina will step in with the bases loaded. And still nobody out. Mike Holtz will be the new pitcher for San Diego, the left-hander. And lefties are 3 for 8 against him this year. Vina, bases loaded, nobody out when we come back. Left-hander is in for Bruce Bochy. It's Mike Holtz. Picked up his first career National League win last night in that 4-3 victory over the Cardinals. He got Jim Edmonds and Tino Martinez to escape a jam in the 8th. He has yet to allow an earned run in 3 innings since joining the Padres on the 1st of July. Made 16 relief appearances with Oakland earlier this year. So the bases are loaded for Vina. Some insurance would sure be nice here. A couple of grand slams for Vina in his career, including one this year at PNC Park against the Pirates, and he looks at a ball.
It probably wouldn't be the worst thing for Isringhausen to enter this game in a non-save situation.
Kind of get back on track.
Yeah, give him a 4-run lead and let him kind of work his way back.
And it's 2-0 on Fernando Vina. Snapped an 0 for 12 string earlier tonight with a base hit. The infield is in for Fernando.
Now they feel that they cannot afford to give the Cardinals another run.
Vina taps it. Foul and toward the camera well. 2 balls and a strike. Katie Rich and Chris McFarland would like to say hi to their friends and family back home in St. Louis, and also in Columbia, Missouri.
By the way, why did I get chewed out today because of some note you didn't read last night?
I read every note that was handed to me.
Some guy's going, well, my dad's upset. Dan didn't read the note.
I read every note.
I know you did.
I actually read them on the air. I just read them.
Right, you read it.
Sure, I read it on the air.
Telepathically.
Strike on the outside corner to Vigna. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vigna fouls it down the third base line, hangs in there with 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, nobody out here in the 10th, and a 2-1 Cardinal lead. Izzy is still throwing in that Cardinal bullpen. He's been up and throwing for a while now. Getting loose. Foul ball, good battle here. Lefty-lefty matchup between Holtz and Vigna.
Vigna tough to strike out, so I feel like he's going to put the ball in play. Have the infield played in, so there's a lot more hitting lanes open up for him. Marrero's good speed. They're going to try and go to home.
It's a good battle here between these two. Holtz, by the way, came up with the Angels. That's where he's primarily spent most of his career with Anaheim. Back in 1996, we told you last night.
So he played with both Edmonds and Perez with the Angels, and Phil Nevin.
2-2, and Vigna skies it down the left field line. Long way to go for Gant, and runs out of room near that post.
You can get a lot of injuries down in that corner when you're battling not only the bullpen mounds, but the corner of the railing down there. And see, you kind of jumping up there as the elevation changes, and then you crash into the metal of the railing.
It's a good effort there by Gant.
Absolutely.
Rex Hudler being hurt near a bullpen.
I can't remember if it was here. I know he did the one time in St. Louis.
Right. Ground ball, they'll get the play at home. That's 1. There's 2. Big double play. Started by Klesko, and he finished it off.
How about 2 double plays off the bat of Vigna tonight?
3-2-3 on the double play.
You get 2 outs on this one. See if Polanco can't give the Cardinals an extra insurance run.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the 10th, Tom Lampkin, the catcher, will lead it off for Bruce Bochy. Now he'll make his way to the mound yet again. It'll be a pinch hitter. And the top of the order, Ramon Vasquez for Isringhausen. So the lefty does his job and gets the double play off the bat of Fernando Vigna. Bruce Bochy will go with a righty.
Ficas.
He'll take over. 2-1 St. Louis. Jeremy Ficas, spelled F-I-K-A-C, will take over for the Padres. He has worked scoreless relief only 4 times in his last 14 big league appearances, dating back to May 26. He was 3-0 with an ERA just over 1 in 11 April games, but then has been 0-5 since.
And actually, his numbers are better against left-handed batters. Right-handers are batting .292 against him with 6 home runs.
Robinson at third, Kairos at second. Here's Polanco. Placido hitting .291. Grounded to short, walked, struck out, fly to center. Talked about Placido during our open being the hottest hitter in this Cardinals lineup. 5 for 5 on Sunday, 3 for 4 last night. Cardinals certainly could use a 2-out base hit to drive in 2 more. They lead it 2-1. Polanco, little fly ball into right. This should do it. The Cardinals get one. They have a lead. We'll move to the bottom of the 10th. Izzy will come in, a chance to close it out. 2-1 St. Louis. Cardinal baseball on WB11 was brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on WB11. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. Approaching midnight back home. We hope you've been able to stay up with us. 2-1 Cardinals as we head to the bottom of the 10th. Jason Isringhausen will try to pick up his 20th save. He had a up and down homestand, the longest homestand for the Cardinals of the season. 4 saves and 3 blown saves during that last homestand. At one point he had converted 13 straight save opportunities after he blew his first blown save at Montreal.
Well, we'll just have to see how he performs. He did pick up number 19 save on July the 3rd versus San Diego. Kind of corresponded with flexor tendon strain of his elbow, where hitters are having a little bit more success against Jason. But he lost a little bit of confidence in some of his pitches. And he also was not pitching inside. A lot of pitches were out over the plate.
Lampkin is 2 for 10 in his career against Izzy. Jason trying to close it out.
2 for 11 isn't bad.
Be nice to see that. 97 on the gun. And let's see if that fastball is back to the velocity that we saw it earlier this year, which was 97, 98.
Yeah, I mean, his fastball is straight. His cutter was giving him a lot of trouble to left-handed batters. Fastball away.
He's throwing hard. A few days off during the break, I'm sure, helped him out physically.
Yeah, I mean, it usually does. You come back and you get those days off, it gives you a real shot in the arm. There's a slider which he was having trouble with coming in. It's a cutter. You get a couple days off, but you don't. Sometimes your control suffers a little bit. Fastball again.
Fly ball in the center. Edmonds should have it for out number 1. Good start for Izzy.
I said 2 for 11 isn't bad.
Kingsale will be the hitter. Eugene Kingsale. Took over in right.
He's a switch hitter, and that's probably what kept Sweeney, what got Sweeney released. Kingsale over Mark Sweeney, and he can play the outfield, and Sweeney really doesn't have a position. He came from Seattle. He was on their roster when we were up there.
First pitch to him right down the middle. 97 from Isringhausen.
It's going to be too much deviation. They're going to try and just get him back and pumping that fastball. He didn't want it, wanted a slider. Going to go with his curveball.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
He's got a great curveball, and he's throwing 97 miles an hour, and then you throw a 79-mile-an-hour curveball. You get a lot of guys, but at times it seems like he presents he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his pitches, which is hard to believe for someone that throws as hard as he does. Fastball again.
Goodbye. 2 outs. And Izzy is sharp here tonight.
Well, and that's all you need. Is sometimes when you get into a little bit of rut, you just need one good performance to get you back on track. Have a 1-2-3 day, and You got to almost mentally pronounce yourself well.
It's up to Vasquez, the leadoff man, who's 1 for 4 tonight for the Padres. Winning RBI, if the Cardinals can hold on, would be off the bat of Kerry Robinson. Is he trying to close it out? The first pitch is a ball. Go back to the bottom of the 9th, and what a job by Crudell.
Absolutely.
Man at third, less than 2 outs, and he pitched out of it.
I remember they ended up runners at second and third. And then he had to get, got the sacrifice and then the pop up with 1 out and runners at second and third. And then just harmless fly ball to center.
2-0. Isringhausen has battled through injuries in his career. 2 elbow surgeries, shoulder operation, bout with tuberculosis. Oakland gave him a chance to close, and he made the most of it. Here he is in St. Louis now.
2-0, just nothing fancy, just keep it away from him.
There it is, 2 balls and a strike. Took a little something off it, but still 94 from the Brighton, Illinois native.
Wants the fastball, wants the cutter.
Ooh, that's tough. 2-2.
Backed up on him a little bit, but gets a strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and the Cardinals a strike away from a victory here tonight.
Well, this crowd stuck around. I guess why wouldn't it in a 2-1 game?
Breaking ball, ground ball, and foul. You're watching the Cardinals on WB11 KPLR TV St. Louis. With a win tonight, Cincinnati falls to 3.5 games out. Cincinnati stays 5 back. Or rather, Houston. So the Astros would be 5 back, Cincinnati 2.5 games out. The Cardinals would have their 48th victory on the year.
2-2, 2 outs. You don't want to get to start getting to the big guys, so finish it right here. Fastball inside.
This foul. See the fastball coming. He knew it. He jumped on it and pulled it foul. Kotsay is on deck. Vasquez tonight is flied to left, grounded to second, single to right, and fly to center. Isringhausen trying to pick up save number 20.
And that little punctuation from Marrero saying, let it fly. Good pitch. Good piece of hitting to stay alive. Locate the best is your fastball, but he's got a lot of confidence in his curveball. Marrero wants the fastball, he'll agree to it. Deeks him inside, pitch him away.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Save number 20 for Izzy, and the Cardinals hold on for a 2-1 win in 10 innings. 2-1 our final here tonight. Big victory for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. Cincinnati 3.5 games out. Houston is 5, and the Cardinals pick up victory number 48. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. 2 hours and 54 minutes, and our final was 2-1 as the Cardinals win it over San Diego. Our final in 10 innings. Isringhausen the save, number 20. Crudell the win. Steve Reed took the loss. Today's play of the game is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. That's your game-winning RBI.
Kerry Robinson brings home Renteria for the second run, 2-1 Cardinal win, and just muscles it over the infield, and with the infield drawn in, it was a game winner.
For our Bud Sports crew and Al Rabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin saying thank you very much for being with us. Tomorrow we'll come your way at 4 o'clock. Bud Smith and Bobby Jones. Jones is 5-4. Bud is 0-5. It pitched a no-hitter against San Diego last year. 2-1 our final. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon.